All right, welcome back to another episode of Mock SportsCenter. To start, we have the soccer section. I'm not very well versed in that area, but I do know about the struggles of Everton so far this season. I'll let them take it away.
They're horrible.
Everton's, never going to win a game. Haven't yet, and I just don't see how they will. Anytime they're up, they just can't seem to close it out.
Yeah, I mean, they've blown two-goal leads, one of them being in the 88th minute, and then the other one to Aston Villa. I think they were up 2-0, I think, around the 20th, and then they conceded 3 at the end. I don't know what the manager is trying to get them to do, but it's not working.
It's not working. What are we thinking for a relegated teams this year?
Everton.
And who else?
Man City probably is going to drop down. You know, they have their trials coming up, so that could really affect them. They could honestly get like negative 1,000 points after, because it is a lot of money that they overspent.
I got Southampton as my other one, and then I don't think Ipswich has the depth to stay up. I think they'll go back down at the end of the year.
I was definitely going to say Ipswich. They haven't won a game yet.
Southampton and Everton are the only
but
teams without any points at all.
You guys
Lost
know
every
which team
single game.
hasn't lost a game yet? Brighton. They're probably going to be undefeated for the rest of the season. Probably going to win the Premier League, topping major teams like Arsenal and Ipswich.
They tied against Arsenal, actually.
Yeah, but they're at the end of the season, they're going to top them in the standings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They also tied Ipswich.
Yeah, they did tie Ipswich. So.
Again, it's not about the games, it's about the final standings. That's all that matters.
I mean, if they can get by with a point against big clubs like Ipswich, I think I agree with you that they're gonna climb up those standings.
Well, they did beat Man United 2-1.
They suck,
that is a pretty high tier team, I would say.
I don't know about that. Maybe not.
They are coming into form.
I think they're horrible.
They are coming in form. I would have to say.
All right, now another hot topic is the new Champions League format. What do you think of that?
I don't like it. I think it's
terrible.
It's just like why do away with something that was working to begin with? Like why change it? I don't understand. I don't think the players are happy with either. They're playing more games now and less rest. That's just going to lead to more injuries and
less quality games.
Yeah.
You know, I actually kind of enjoy the new format. I like a league system. I think it gives a better chance for some lower clubs to qualify earlier. But overall, I think it is a lower quality system.
No regard for player well-being.
For all the, would you guys mind explaining what the new format is for all the freedom-loving American football fans?
Anyone got it?
I got it. So it used to be they would have groups of 4 teams in the top 2, so that they would all play each other in like a round robin, and then the top 2 teams from each group would go on to the next round. They've changed it to now a 36-team league with the top 8 qualifying straight through to the round of 16, and then 9 through 24 have they play in like
Group stages.
Yeah, like a group stage game to get into the round of 16.
Yeah, so I saw on Instagram that I believe it was Rodgers was complaining about it. Said that without all this rest, playing more games, that their health is just, it's not very good. They're more likely to get injured.
Speaking of Man City, they did not win their first game of the Champions League. They tied to
Milan.
Inter Milan.
Good team.
Yeah, both good teams, but
They beat Milan.
I think
don't know.
with all those
0-0.
charges, and they should be able to beat what most people would say a lower quality club. But
Well, they are undefeated in the Champions League right now. Or in the Premier League.
Yes, that's true.
Barcelona lost their first game of the Champions League too.
How about Lamine Yamal?
Oh, man.
He's a baller.
How about him?
Gosh, Lamine
How
Yamal's
about-
amazing.
16 years old. I'd argue he's the
He's
best
17.
right winger in the world.
He's 17.
17 years old.
Yeah.
My fault. But I think he's the best right winger in the world and on pace to be the next Messi.
Better than Messi.
Yeah, you can't have another Messi.
Stop.
I don't know, guys. Was Messi doing that at 17?
No, he was not.
Finally, how do you guys see the Champions League playing out? Who do you see near the end? Maybe give me your top 4, and then ultimately who do you think is going to take home the trophy?
We might see another underdog like Dortmund again. Anyone think who's going to be the underdog?
Other three?
No.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say Real Madrid definitely, and Man City's going to be up there, and shout maybe PSG.
No.
Maybe they
Tully?
might make a run.
Tully, what are we thinking?
So let's see. Looking at the current standings, I know that this team, FC Shakhtar Donetsk, they might not be the highest in the standings right now, having tied their first game. But I feel that they will, bounce back, win a couple games, get up there. But then I have teams like Real Madrid will do good. I could see Dortmund going up there. Yeah.
I really like Dinamo Zagreb's. They've been balling out, I think.
Yeah.
I'll go for the winner this year. I'm gonna choose Liverpool. I think with Arne Slot there, they're gonna. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to catch him after that brilliant result against AC Milan. And then my other 3, I'm gonna go with. I'll go. Barcelona with Lamine Yamal. He's like the best right winger in the world, so I think he'll really carry them to the final. And then for the other 2, I'm gonna go with Benfica, and we'll go Real Madrid because the referees will get them into the semifinals.
For me, Liverpool wins the Champions League this year. I think it's clear. I have them beating Bayern Leverkusen in the final. Coached by Xabi Alonso, they had an undefeated season last year. Very good quality. Real Madrid will get in, as always, super team, Mbappe, Vinicius.
Endrick, got that Endrick guy now.
Yeah,
Bobby Endrick.
all right. And then finally, I think Man City. Man City will make a run, lose to Liverpool in the semis.
All right, some good predictions, and that'll wrap up our soccer segment here. Welcome to the baseball section of episode 4 of Mock SportsCenter. Huge development in the baseball world with Shohei Ohtani reaching the first ever 50-50 season. That is 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in one MLB regular season. He achieved it last night with 3 home runs and 2 stolen bases. How do we feel about that?
I think a really cool achievement. I think Ronald Acuna is due up for a 50-50 season next year. I don't think it's anything too special.
That brings me into my next question is, as Parker already answered it, who do we feel is due to be the second player to join that club? I think Ronald Acuna, no big deal. That's kind of a wild take there.
I mean,
No baseball player in the history of the game has done that.
yeah, but
And you just say, I feel like Ronald Acuna would
what do
that.
you guys think? Who's your...
I don't think Ronald Acuna could really come to a 50-50 season after coming off 2 ACL injuries. I feel like we would see a little bit of regression. My take would be personally Gunnar Henderson for the Baltimore Orioles. He's showed a lot of power this year, almost like doubling his home run totals. And, him being a streaky, speedy shortstop, I think he could maybe reach 50 stolen bases if he can stay healthy.
I can see that. Truly. I think that Tommy Pham is really fast for the Cardinals, and that
Tommy Pham, recently cut.
yeah, we might have been cut, but I feel like next season he has a really good chance of stealing a lot of bases. So
Oh my God.
I can see that happening.
Okay, well now on the section of the playoffs, the Brewers, Yankees, Guardians, and Dodgers all clinched their playoff berth recently. How do we feel the race for the wild card and those remaining spots are gonna pan out?
I think the NL wildcard race is the tightest one. I think that's going to be really entertaining to see. The Braves and Mets, everyone has 9 games left. Braves and Mets play each other once, but the Braves play the Mets at home, so they'll have home field advantage. They also play the Marlins, which I feel like should be an easy series. The Mets play Phillies and the Brewers. Phillies leading their division and Brewers as well. I feel like it's going to be a hard path for the Mets, and I think the Braves are going to take this one and take the last spot.
Well, the Braves have shown success in recent years in postseason, and obviously the last 10 games in a race to get to the postseason is kind of, you approach it the same way. So I agree with that take because I think the Braves just have what it takes.
Who do you guys think is going to come out of the AL wildcard race? I mean, that's a steep one. You've got...
I think, for my take, I would say the Tigers coming out on top. They've been looking really hot after recently sweeping the Royals. And I also think I really like this, good young power coming from the Tigers, Royals, and Orioles. And I just think the Mariners and Twins, they just don't have enough, offensive power.
Yeah.
Mainly from the Mariners, going into the second half, firing their manager. I think the Mariners definitely will fall off, and then the Twins, I think being in a competitive AL Central, I don't see them coming out on top, really.
Yeah, well, obviously the Orioles have it in the bag. They got five-game lead with 9 to play. I do think the Royals will hold on as well. I'm sure the Tigers have been hot, but they got a tough matchup against the Orioles.
Yeah.
They do play the White Sox, and that's a win for them. But I do see the Royals kind of rallying together and getting the job done.
Yeah.
Finally, basically the talk of this entire season is the Chicago White Sox. Chicago is known for having some of the most dominant teams in sports history with the 90s Bulls and the 2010s Blackhawks. But do we think this could be the worst season in professional sports history?
They have 9 games left. They have 117 losses. The worst season of all time is 120 losses. That means they got to win 7 games to hold off. I just don't see them doing that. Playing the Padres, Angels, and Tigers, I don't think they make this one out alive.
We also got to mention the 62 Mets played in a shorter season, so the White Sox are going to have potentially pass that record in more difficult circumstances to do so.
I feel like they should maybe think about relegation if they introduce that to baseball, because it's not like they're going to be good next year either, and it's going to be an easy win for everybody, and it's just it almost seems like they're not even needed in the league.
So you're saying they should change the rules of baseball?
Yes, I honestly think so. With 117 losses already, it's just what's the point?
Okay, I get it.
I mean, they might be the worst run team in baseball, and I'm comparing them to the Athletics, but they have not won a playoff series since they won the World Series in 2005.
Wow. Do we think they are the Carolina Panthers of the MLB?
They're the Carolina Panthers of the MLB.
Except
yes. Even worse.
No Bryce Young. Any hope for them
I mean,
at all?
Going in after their offseason, their only signing being Andrew Benintendi. You would think, they aren't really going to compete this year, but this was way worse with the injuries they had. And you'd think they had a lot of prospects, but they're just development and just keeping their players healthy. You would think Eloy, Yohan Makata, Luis Robert, Tim Anderson, they would all go be stars. And we're even seeing Michael Kopech now on the Dodgers balling out, doing something he couldn't do for the White Sox. So I think you got to look from up top at the managerial and the ownership, and then it works its way down, really.
Yeah, and our final kind of a fun section is going to be presented by Mr. Angeli.
All right.
Where you'll be guessing, is that name a White Sox player or a Civil War general?
Mm-hmm. All right. So first off, is this a Confederate Civil War general or a White Sox player? Shout out to the Hot Corner podcast for this idea. So our first name, Joseph Johnston. What do we think here?
I feel like Johnston's general.
That's a player. That's got to be a player.
I agree. I'm going to go with general.
General? General. All right. Jonathan Cannon.
Cannon. That's a baseball name. But that's also a war name.
Yeah, I feel like it's
I think it's a little cliche to be a general named Cannon. I'm going to go with player.
I'm going to go general again.
player again.
It is a player. All right. Next name, Braxton Bragg.
That's obviously a Confederate general, hero of Fort Bragg's named after him. So
I don't know. I actually think that's a player. I haven't heard the name Braxton. I don't think that name existed back then.
I don't think it exists
I think
now.
it's a player also.
It is a general.
All right, welcome to the football section. This will include both the NFL and college football to cap off episode 4 of Mock SportsCenter. To start off with the NFL, New York Jets. How do we feel about Aaron Rodgers' performance the last 2 weeks?
Last night, I was just put it out there. He's a dog, still the most accurate QB in the league. I think the Jets have a chance to win the AFC East now with Rodgers playing like this.
Well, the real question is, do you think Rodgers can keep it up? Obviously, with maybe a not so great first week. Does that show a little bit of inconsistency, or was that a fluke?
I feel like the inconsistency is more with the receivers and the whole offense, the offense as a whole, because the running game has looked great over the past 2 weeks, but there hasn't been like any specific mistakes with the receivers, but they haven't been getting as much passing as I think they should with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
The strength of the competition wasn't great Thursday. It was the Patriots, who haven't had really a great season since Brady was there. Their defense is just kind of poor, and they lack the head coach talent of Bill Belichick.
Yeah, obviously, Aaron Rodgers is able to have a nice fantasy performance. Fortunately, what has killed me in my fantasy team this year is Travis Kelce. Only putting up, in my league, 5 points through the first 2 weeks with 1 reception and 3 targets last week for a total of, I think it was 5 yards.
Yeah, I think Mark Andrews is also doing me quite dirty. He's got me an average of, I think, 2.3 points per game.
That's rough.
Tight end position has been rough to start the year, to say the least.
But rookie
I think-
Brock Bowers
Yeah,
is
I got
not
Brock-
a-
Brock Bowers,
this
he's been
season.
on the Raiders.
Yeah.
He can make some noise.
He had like 10 catches, 100 yards this week, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
For the
Like,
Chiefs,
he got
though,
like 20 points.
I think we're just starting to see the transition from I think Rashee Rice is starting to take over that wide receiver 1 role, and he's going to be Mahomes' top target this season, I think.
Yeah.
Do we feel that obviously Kelsey and the Chiefs have been so dominant for a long time? Do we feel this is maybe just a stumble along the road, or is it maybe synonymous with a bigger issue?
I don't think Kelsey's heart's in the game anymore. He's made his money. He's made his impact on the game. And he's really just collecting a check at this point, I think.
I just feel like you can only have your tight end be your number 1 option for so long before it kind of just slows down a little bit. And like Mahomes doesn't have like a really good receiver since Tyreek Hill, and Rashee Rice is kind of starting to fill that role, I think. So I think he'll switch a little bit more to him.
So
as
more
the
of
year
just a
continues.
transition to the Chiefs' offensive plan rather than
Right.
Yeah.
rather than
They're still they'll roll through the
I
AFC
mean,
West this year.
I don't
Yeah.
think they're getting the three-peat, though.
No.
I don't
think so?
think.
Absolutely.
No,
Who do you
I think
think?
not. Who do I think's going to win the Super Bowl? I don't
Yeah.
know, but I know it's not going to be the Chiefs.
Yeah. I feel like they might make the Super Bowl, but I don't think they're going to win it.
okay.
I just have so little faith in their run game with Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's a
Every-
big loss.
Everybody
Parsons-
says that he runs hard, but I don't.
He doesn't run good.
He's just hitting the ground with his feet really hard. It's more theatrics than it is good
Yeah,
running back
agreed.
play.
And I also don't like Carson Steele, and I think they got Kareem Hunt off
Yeah,
waivers or
Kareem
something
Hunt,
as
yeah,
backups. It's not a great
He's
running
washed.
back room.
Not a whole lot of
in KC.
depth. Yeah. Okay. Now on to college football. Home state Mizzou. Nail biter against Boston College.
Yeah.
27-21 victory against a big underdog team this year. Frankly, after Boston College was able to upset FSU. How do we feel about both the game overall? Mizzou able to make a comeback and kind of hold on to the lead in that second half, as well as Mizzou's position within the college football world right now.
Well, I definitely think that Castellanos, Boston College quarterback, he played great. He had a great game, I think. The defense just needs to step it up a little bit more. They had a good game still, but, like, they played Buffalo and Murray State, and they're like, oh, we blew up 0 points. We're really good. And then They played an ACC team who's not even that good compared to SEC. And
Kind of lulled themselves
Yeah.
into a false sense of security.
the
'cause they
penalties,
played-
too, were terrible. Way too many penalties.
This is taking on Vanderbilt tomorrow. How do we feel that game is going to go for the Tigers?
I think
Easy
they'll
win.
They'll kill them at home.
Confidence
They're
booster,
mad
yeah.
they got dropped in the rankings. I'll die on this hill. Good teams win close games. I don't think Mizzou should have dropped. I mean, for example, Georgia. If good teams didn't win close games, Georgia would not have beaten Mizzou each of the past 2 years. So
Exactly.
I think Mizzou, they took care of business. Like, it wasn't the cleanest game, but they got the job
won,
done. I
yeah.
think they should have stayed at 6. And Tennessee, you beat the worst team in the FBS. Like, congratulations.
Yeah, you beat
Why do you
Kansas
get to
State.
go up?
You're awesome. I also just think that kind of a little unrelated, but Mizzou doesn't need to worry about a kicker anymore because Mevis graduated, obviously. He's great. And then Blake Craig had, I think he had 3 or 4 big field goals in the game against Boston College.
Yeah.
So,
He was good.
yeah, he was
Kept us in
good.
the game.
All right, Georgia, Texas. We feel like this is maybe the SEC championship right here, right now.
This
Yeah,
it's
I'm
easily
looking
the
forward to
game.
that week. It'll be a great game.
Yeah, it's a
So
good game.
I have no doubt in my mind they'll still be 1 and 2 when they play each other. It'll be a great environment.
Do we see Texas riding out that Arch Manning train, or will Georgia be able to continue their dominance?
I think the way Texas is playing right now, I think they'll come out on top. But they also haven't really played. I know they played Michigan, but Michigan should not have been ranked 10. I don't think they should be ranked at all, honestly. And they walloped them, obviously. But
At
besides
home,
that,
too.
yeah, at home or on the road,
Big
actually,
house.
on the road, yeah. They play UL Monroe this week. Hopefully, General Booty can play good, but I think Texas is gonna ride all the way to Georgia, and I think they'll get the win.
Dylan Riola, how do we feel about his performance?
I like this Nebraska team this year. It's been a while since they've been good. I like what they got going so far. I think they'll beat Illinois this week, for sure.
That's creepy. That's weird. Like, why are you
No,
doing
he's
that?
like going into it too. He's like
He's like leaning into the I am Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes didn't even play anywhere near Nebraska. Why is he
No.
pretending to be Patrick Mahomes?
He was a big 5-star recruit coming out of college.
Weirdo,
He's
man.
great. And then Mahomes was a 3. He wasn't bad at going into college, obviously, but it's like Raiola had all this hype. He was going to go to Georgia. He randomly decommitted, went to Nebraska, and now all the media is picking him up like he's Mahomes because he's playing good. But
Yeah.
Nebraska hasn't really played anyone that
Another
much
funny
yet.
thing in college football, FSU spent the entire offseason complaining about not making the playoffs, right? And
where
then
are you now?
and then where are you
You're
now? You're 0-2,
0-3.
0-3.
Lost to Memphis.
You lost to horrible teams, and it's just not looking good for you guys.
Oh, Memphis is making the playoffs, by the way. That's my group of 5 pick. I got Memphis.
That's bold.
That's crazy.
That's a bold. Who do you have?
Group of 5.
Yeah.
I think Boise State. and
Boise
Mount
State.
West.
I mean, yeah, they did almost. That was a great game with Oregon, actually. I got to give them that. But
Well,
Memphis
some bold picks there.
Yeah.
But that'll wrap up our football section here at Mock Sports Center, and thank you for watching.